Hello and good afternoon, and welcome to the Tea Time SEO. I'm SEO Joe Blogs, growth marketer here at Authoritas, and I'm joined here by Carrie Shepherd in our marketing team at Authoritas. We've been really lucky to have so many people join us for Tea Time SEO from when we started March 30th. And now going forward, we're actually going to be running this on Mondays and Thursdays. So today we have a very interesting topic indeed, managing the SEO process agency side. We have Adam and Justyna, and I hope everyone's brought their cup of tea.
Yes.
Yes, very good. And we've got quite a few people in today already. For those logged in, Lawrence, Raf, a golfing company, Tina, Paul. So thank you all for joining today. We have Adam and Justyna, who will be sharing their tips about managing the SEO process agency side. And at the end, we'll have Q&A. So Carol will be taking your questions from the audience and asking them to Adam and Justyna. So if you enjoyed watching this today, or you enjoy the Tea Time SEO series, subscribe to our channel, like our video, and we'll be running more of these, obviously, throughout June. But without further ado, I'm going to pass over to Adam and Justyna to introduce themselves and then start giving some tips about managing the SEO process. Over to you.
Hi everyone, my name is Adam Reany. I'm an account director at the SEO Works, which is an SEO agency based in the north of England, up in Sheffield in Yorkshire. I have more than 6 years digital marketing experience, working on several award-winning campaigns across a variety of industries. I've been fortunate enough to help the SEO Works grow from a small startup with 5 or 6 of us in the office to now the big award-winning national agency that we are, with 40, 50 staff members and hundreds of clients. I'm passionate about data and analysis, providing meaningful results to clients that actually provide value to them and that aren't just fluffy. And I'm an enthusiastic but not particularly good cricketer in my spare time.
Hi everyone, my name is Justyna Pruszyńska. I am SEO and Content Specialist at Bluerank. It is a digital marketing agency in Poland. I have more than 3 years of experience in digital marketing. I am really fascinated about SEO, but also user intent, creating content marketing campaigns and meeting EAT guidelines, and of course influencer marketing. And right now, with this global pandemic, I am trying to get fit, and I've came across this influencer, Chloe Ting. She's inspiring people all over the world to do 2-week stretch challenge. So I've seen all the results, and I really hope to get snatched after my quarantine.
Well, that sounds like a very good challenge, Justyna. Lots of people have been wanting to focus on that, being mentally and physically fit. So that's great. Thank you. And I just want to say hello to Monse as well for joining, and Azim. So I'll pass over to you, Justyna, for sharing your tips about managing the SEO process. Thank you.
Okay. So the first tip from me is to work in partner teams, because when you're working in an agency, I am sure that you're not doing SEO only, but also some other digital marketing activities, for example, paid search, social media, etc. And if you're having that particular client for which you are doing more than one digital marketing activities, it is really crucial that you have all the team members working together, talking with each other, sharing some information, sharing some tricks about the client, but also sharing some good and bad things, like some challenges with that client, etc. We are working in partner teams in Bluerank. Before the pandemic, we were working 3 days a week with each other. So we were not working in our departments, but we were working in our partner teams. And this is really great because we shared all the information about our client, and it was really beneficial for him because we were really focused on doing everything we can to grow our client's business. And when we have more than one digital marketing activities, try to have one strategy for doing all the work for your clients. So, for example, if I do some content marketing piece on the website, we can easily share it on social media, or we can do some Google ads for it too. So it is really important for other people to know what you are doing and to implement what you're doing in their work. So this is tip number 1. And tip number 2 is to have more than one SEO specialist for one project, for one client. And why I think that this is really important, we were testing that in our company, and it was really great because everyone has a different set of skills. For example, I am naturally a better SEO content specialist because I love doing keyword research. I love doing keyword analysis to match landing pages with correct keywords, analyze user intent, to do some content competitive analysis, to analyze content, etc., etc. I am a natural in this field, I think. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that I am not doing anything technical. I am, but I have that other person who is more skilled in technical SEO. So, for example, he programs. He knows JavaScript. He knows page speed, etc. So he does the technical analysis much quicker than I am. And when I am doing something with content and he's doing something with technical analysis, we have more time to focus on our fields, but also we have more time to learn from each other, to educate ourselves. And I really have much more knowledge after 1 year of working with that person. And I really get to know a technical SEO better. And the tip for working together is that when you're going on a holiday, you have the second person who knows your project very well and can easily substitute for you for a while. So it is great too. And the third and final tip is, what do you do after SEO audit? So you've sent this big document to your client, and what's next? You should provide your client with a cheat sheet. And what I mean by that is to try to list all your recommendations from the most important ones to be implemented ASAP on your site to these not so important but also needed. And these recommendations should be divided also into chunks that are easily implemented on the website. So, for example, if your client has a problem with page speed, one chunk of the recommendation is, for example, to optimize product photos on the site. And what if your client doesn't want or can't implement all the changes that you've requested on his website? So if he really can't, because the website has some limitations, and it happens, you can focus on what you can do. So, for example, creating content marketing strategy, content marketing campaign to increase visibility or brand awareness. But if you feel that your client can implement something but doesn't know if it is profitable for him, maybe try to conduct a competitor analysis in which you will show that client what his competitors are doing better. And you should base your competitor analysis on hard data, but also you can add some financial projections. So, for example, if you increase your visibility by some percent, you will earn more. And why is that? Because you will implement this, and that. So this is helpful if your client can't or really don't want to implement all the recommendations you need.
Okay, thank you. That's very interesting. Also about the financial projections too. Thank you very much, Justyna. I'll pass over to Adam.
Perfect. Thank you, Justyna. A lot of, there's similarities of what I want to recommend as well, especially with the strength of team members and things like that. But I'll begin with managing time. This is as you get to be a bigger agency, as agencies grow and acquire more clients, take on board more staff, managing time becomes quite important, not only from a sort of actual ground level perspective of account management, but from a wider business perspective as well. Also, playing to your staff's strengths, as Justyna's just mentioned, is really important. You know, people are varied in their skill sets and what their interests are, and people tend to do better with what they're interested in. And also, collaboration isn't competition. You know, that shouldn't be overstated, really. But I'll go into each of those in more depth in the following slides. So I'll begin with managing time. So this is key in any agency. At all levels, every tier throughout that, you need to make sure that time is managed. This can manifest itself in several ways. It can be actual time tracking for projects, depending on whether you sell projects based on time or whether you sell them based on results, or however you do that. But in order for you to plan appropriately and to make sure that you're not taking on more than you can service, you need to make sure that time is managed, and time is, somebody is looking at time, be it the individual account manager or be there somebody's sat above them, making sure that everyone's committing the appropriate amount of time to each project. That can inform things like recruitment. You know, by having a handle on the business capacity, you can then determine whether or not you need to bring someone on board. Recruitment processes can be quite lengthy sometimes, the interview process and getting a job out there and then sorting through all the applicants. So if you see that coming, if this contract's coming on board, you can preempt that to stop you running around like headless chickens with more work than people. It will help with business capacity as well, for planning things like office move and actual hardware purchasing like desks and computers and all that. You know, that can be informed by if you need to be recruiting someone or a new team member or something like that, then you can see ahead. Individual staff capacity. This is more of a granular way of managing time, but looking at each individual staff member, they have ownership of their time. They may know how much a certain project needs each month, so then they can plan their month accordingly. You know, looking at that helps them service clients in an appropriate way. This is delivering on the expectations and what we say we're going to deliver, but isn't overcommitting, which could be detrimental to other projects that they're working on as well. Could have the next slide.
So just to confirm on that, then basically it's really around recruitment needs, the business capacity, and the individuals as well. Then about how you can properly manage this time.
Yeah, so it's looking at the hiring manager may be looking at how much time the business has as a total to work on the clients versus clients coming in to know if they need to hire. You may have a facilities manager, which may need to look at office moves or new resources, new places to work, things like internet connections and all that. And then individual staff capacity to an individual account manager level.
Okay, good, thank you.
Playing to your strengths, this echoes what Justyna's mentioned, really. Just looking at every agency has strengths and weaknesses, so playing to your strengths will give you the best chance of succeeding as an agency. Looking at each individuals may be interested in particular things. Like I'm really interested in cricket, so if there's cricket clients or things like that, that gives me an edge. If someone's got a lot of experience in a particular field or sector, then they're obviously the best people to work on clients that come in related to that. Now, obviously, that can't be done for everything. As you get into a relatively big-sized agency, with lots of staff members, you can't cater that to everyone. But having an eye on that and what people are interested in and what their individual strengths are as well, in terms of actual operational, like Justyna says, content is her thing. I'm the same. I come from a journalism and content background. So technical, I'm aware of my weaknesses technically. So that then my strength is in content. So I would be geared more towards clients which need more content. That helps you get the best service to your clients. Also shouting about your strengths, talk about it. It can be a selling point. If you're an agency which is amazing technically or amazing with content, you do loads of great content marketing stuff, that can be a USP. SEO is an industry which is getting more and more saturated in terms of players in it. So if you can carve out a niche or carve out a USP, that will help you stand out and attract the clients which actually want that service from you, as well as the general SEO. And win some awards. There's so many awards out there that you can apply to, not just big ones like European Search Awards and things like that. There's lots of awards, local and regional, as well as at a national level, and they will help back up your authority and provide you some, as well as helping with sales pitches, they'll also provide you with some validation as well that you're actually doing the right thing, which is important if you're going to grow as an agency. And finally, I just wanted to talk about the fact that collaboration isn't competition. So by encouraging a collaborative atmosphere, you can promote knowledge across the agency. Tied into what we've said recently, everybody knows their weaknesses as well as their strengths. So pushing everybody to learn and improve will help them to better service their clients, whether it's running particular training sessions or identifying the weaknesses within the business and acting on them accordingly. You may need to get resources like training courses or materials, but that will help to reduce the gaps in the knowledge across the agency. So you can help identify and limit the risk really of there being an issue which then causes you to lose a client because the agency isn't very good at it. It will help to offset that and preempt that. It also helps to inform methodology as an agency. The way you do things generally is done a certain way. So by encouraging that collaborative atmosphere, people may bring new ideas to the table. Somebody may have an experience with a client which actually would be really useful to inform or use it on other clients as well, based on anecdotal experience. And also it helps problem solving. If there's an account manager which has got a problem, by feeling like they can open that out to the wider team, that will help them solve it. Everybody learns, the client gets an amazing service, and everybody wins. So it's really important to be collaborative and don't see it as a I can't say anything because it'll seem like I don't know anything, or trying to compete with your colleagues. That's not the way it needs to be. It has to be collaborative because the web's a big place and every site's different.
Well, thank you very much, both of you. I really do like the part about saying, playing to your strengths and, working with your colleagues and having a lot more collaboration. Really good to see that. Well, I'll pass over to Carrie to ask some of the questions we've got from the audience.
Great, thank you. The first comment we have is says, yes, financial projections agree with this. Justyna, but where do you start? So where do you start with the financial projections?
I start from keyword analysis and identifying the keywords for my clients that we have to work on. And then I calculate the average page traffic for that keywords. So using CTR and average amount of searches monthly for the phrase. And I calculate that for my client and also for their competitors. And I see how much of the traffic that the competitors are stealing from my client. And then I look at the traffic and I look at the assisted conversions. And by the amount of the conversions and with the money from them, I can easily estimate what will happen if the traffic will grow for my client. So I am starting with that.
That's really useful, thank you. So we have a question for Adam. How do you bill time? Many agencies offer service in terms of reporting and account management.
Yeah, we do similar. I mean, we don't bill time per se. You know, as an agency, we don't say you'll get X amount of hours. It's more for managing it. You know, I don't really want to go too much into it, but we allocate a certain amount of time for a project which is an intrinsic value based on the contract size, and that will, you know, the account managers will be told that, and then that's something you develop as an agency as well. You know, as you get bigger, that becomes more obvious, and it's something that has to be done. We never bill time because there may be something which is more pressing for a site, which means that we need to spend more time on it in a month. You know, the last thing we want to be doing is a site in chaos. You know, a disaster happens, and us saying, well, actually, you've run out of time, so it'll have to wait. You know, we appreciate that it's not that black and white, but just in terms of an internal management perspective, there is a value attributed to it. Yeah.
Great, thank you. So we have a question for Justyna. You said promote the strengths and talents of your employees. They should develop in most areas that inspire them. When did you start doing this, and what was the result? Are clients really open to it?
Where do you start promoting your strengths? I think that well, you should ask your colleagues or your employees what do they want to do in the future. What are their passions, etc. You should be open for what they're saying, and I think that we are doing this every year. We are just asking the people what do they want to do, what they think they are good at, and we are playing on their strengths all over the year. We have some tasks. So, for example, if I am good at, I don't know, keyword analysis, I have like 2 tasks for 1 year to improve in it somehow. So we are just making sure that they are working towards their goal to be better at something, but also we like to make sure that they know about their weaknesses and they are willing to educate. For example, I think that I have more education on some page speed things because I understand quite a bit, but I am not understanding all the process altogether. So I am learning how to do it to be better at what I do. So
that's really useful. Anything you'd like to add, Adam?
No, I can just see a question from Lawrence there, just popped up a few moments ago. I'll just answer that if I may. I'll jump in on that one. Yep. So the way we do that, I mean, Justyna mentioned it briefly with the technical audit right at the beginning, and that's something which doing that at the start of the campaign helps you to figure out if there's any major problems that are going to be limiting the site. So then that provides then a roadmap of things which need to be done technically to bring the site up to speed. And it also makes sure that anything you do isn't going to be hindered by things that are already wrong with the site. You know, it might be that there's nothing wrong technically or not much wrong technically. And then you can just get straight into the methodology of what you know works. But it may be that there's something totally wrong with it, like this whole site could be no index for some reason. So that's something which we need to flag immediately, which is why we do audits early on in the project and take that corrective action. Sometimes it is too late. You know, sometimes it is clients come and they've already had a penalty from something, they've already been inflicted, and then it's a case of helping them to recover. But the best thing you can do to cover yourself is conduct the audit as soon as possible.
That's really useful, thank you. We have another question from Lawrence. What are the 3 most important things you look for when hiring a senior SEO?
Shall I take that one, Justyna?
You can start if you want.
I'll start. Yeah, I'll go first. So mainly experience, but we appreciate as well that SEO is an industry which is relatively young, but it's mainly relevant experience. Attitude is obviously something which is important. You know, are they going to fit in well with the team? You know, we pride ourselves on the collaborative atmosphere that we've built, and everybody works well together. So whether they're a good fit is a consideration. And then what their actual knowledge is. You know, interviewing somebody can reveal an entirely different person to what their CV says. But you know, if you can test their knowledge, which we try and do in interviews a little, then you can tell whether they've got the right aptitude and will fit in nicely with the team and provide value to the clients and be a great senior SEO.
I can add something. So I think that this is important that the senior SEO specialist is educating other members of the team, for example, juniors. So he should be able to really educate other people, but also they should be able to handle complex projects for our clients because they will have some real responsibilities and some big projects, so they should be able to handle them well.
That's great.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask one other thing, just with hiring a senior SEO. Would you want them to also have degrees and all these things, or just experience is more important?
I think with SEO, because you can't obviously get a qualification in it, as with many sectors like that, a degree shows a work ethic, but it's by no means a desirable. But it is a desirable. It's by no means a deal breaker. You know, some of the best employees we've had have come from apprenticeships. So you know, it's not a case of if you haven't got a degree, don't apply, because the industry is just not like that. That's what I'd say to answer that.
We have a senior SEO specialist without a degree, but he has a massive experience in SEO, and I think that is all that matters, really.
Good. Yeah, I like seeing that. And there's lots of obviously online events and online qualifications that people can take to help formalize that.
Great.
Thank you.
We have another question from Tina. From agency side, what do you like to see included in an ideal brief from a client?
From us, it's we want to know what they want, and they obviously want good rankings, but the perfect scenario is that they understand that it's going to take time. They're not looking for quick wins. They're not looking for unless they obviously want paid search. But in terms of SEO, openness to work with us is a big one. You know, clients that just think they can pay for an SEO contract and then just never deal with you again. That's not conducive to working. You know, they need to be open to working together and receiving the advice that we're going to say, especially if we might not have access to the site initially and things like that. So a brief needs to be realistic. Their expectations need to be realistic. They need to be willing to work with us, and they need to be willing to listen. Because the amount of clients that we've had that just don't listen and think they know better is I'm sure something we've all come across. But yeah, that's what I'd say.
For me also, they should provide us with the information if they could implement something on their website, because sometimes it's not really possible, because, for example, we have our Polish client, but their headquarters are somewhere in Norway, and they are dealing with technical stuff there, and there is no time for that Norway headquarters to implement anything on their Polish site. So this is important for us to know what can we change on the website, and also we would like to know if they have any prior experience with content marketing. So if they did some content marketing campaigns, maybe they want to do some. Yeah.
Great, thank you. I have a question for Adam. You said reduce gaps in knowledge across the agency. How would you manage this? Is this like using more training, or how would you do that?
Yeah, so training is something, you take people who are well versed in that and obviously ask them if they want to run a training session. Some people might not want to, but they may be willing to contribute to a training session. It could be in small groups, it doesn't need to be a big stand up in front of everybody and talk. It could be more hands-on. When you get into things like the technicalities of it, it's probably better to do it a bit more hands-on. But yeah, generally sort of either one-on-one or small session or large session training. But we make all the resources available to everybody as well. So it's not a case of you do a training session, then you're expected to know it. Especially with the technical things, it can take time to learn it and fully understand it. So we have a shared space where our employees can access those resources if they need to, as well as the collaborative environment. People asking, and some people have anecdotal evidence and experience of how they've dealt with something. So yeah, that's training is obviously important, but it's also how it's been done previously.
Great, thank you. I think that's all the questions we have now. I'll pass back over to Joe.
Thank you very much. You both had some great tips, and just emphasizing what Tina said, some other people in the industry in the audience about a great reminder for collaborative working. So it's really, I'm very happy to see that in both your agencies, how, it's focusing on the strengths, and if you don't know something, that's fine. You have the time to either self-learn or there is training on board at the agency. So really happy to see that. Thank you both, Adam and Justyna, for your tips and giving up your time today. If you've all enjoyed the video, please like our video. We've only had 4 so far, and we have 18 of you that are logged in, more that are not logged in. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we'll be running this on Mondays and Thursdays throughout June. And actually this Thursday, we have 3 people talking about managing the SEO process in-house. So this was Arij, Alina, and Orit. So we're back on Thursday, June 4th at 4 p.m. about managing that SEO process from the client side. So thank you all for joining us today, and sharing your tips and getting involved. And we will see you on Thursday at 4 p.m. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.